We started Courtside Sports Advisors effectively as a way to work with up-and-coming and emerging sports teams and leagues.
It's been amazing to see the growth of Courtside Sports Advisors and what you've been doing there. And maybe that's a great place to start. Share with our audience, a little bit of the background of how you guys built this.
I think Robert and I have been very, very fortunate to have started this business a couple of years ago and really seen it grow over the last couple of years. Robert and I have known each other for a very long time, have worked on trying to find a way to work together. Robert comes from a very strong entrepreneurial background. I come from an investment background, and we've always wanted to do something in sports. We found a really great opportunity alongside with the E1 all-electric sports boat racing series, which I'll let Robert give some intro on in a minute. But we started Courtside Sports Advisors effectively as a way to work with up-and-coming and emerging sports teams and leagues. Our primary focus at the outset was on partnerships, but that has really grown into a much more all-encompassing advisory role, where we found that a lot of these smaller upstart sports teams really don't have the resources to bring all of the financial and investment capabilities that go with building a business. If you look at a lot of the founders of these teams, they come from a really strong sports background, or they come from a really interesting business background, but they don't really have both of them. And so where we kind of have come in and really added a lot of value is bringing our investment and our entrepreneurial backgrounds to really help these teams grow. And that goes from everything from business plan, strategizing, execution, marketing, partnerships, investments, anything along the revenue side of things. That's where we really try and add a lot of value. As we've been doing that as well, we've really seen a great amount of investment opportunities. And I think that's really what Courtside is focused on becoming in the future, is a much more all-encompassing advisory business, but also incorporating the investment side of things in that. We think there's a lot of really exciting opportunities in the sports world right now. We can kind of get into that a little bit later, but that's really what our focus is on now. And a part of what we're doing with Front Office Sports in this panel in a couple of weeks is to try and bring together the people that are working with emerging sports leagues, that are in the sports industry, investing in companies, investing in teams, and people on the media side who can kind of bring it all together. And so we're really excited about that event coming up, and really fortunate to have had this opportunity to partner with Front Office Sports to bring this vision to life.
We've been focusing a lot on emerging sports because if you look at some of the big sports in the US, like the NFL or MLB, it's very hard to compete with the big agencies like CAA or William Morris when it comes to sponsorships, etc. And so we wanted to carve out a niche for ourselves. And so we've got obviously extensive relationships across many sports, but one sport where we've been focused on quite a bit over the past 2 years has been E1, which is the event that you're going to be coming to in Miami in November. You're going to see your first race. And the big deal that Courtside did for Team Miami was bringing Azimuth Yachts, the Italian yacht manufacturer, into the team as a sponsor. And it wasn't just a deal that benefited the team, it's also benefited the league, because Azimuth is considered one of the most, luxurious, well-known yacht brands in the world, based in Italy, very high-end, has a huge kind of like brand presence online, bigger actually than E1, which is obviously an emerging sport. And so the deal that we did, which we signed kind of at the beginning of last year, was very beneficial for the team and for the league. And that kind of like set Courtside on a great path. Kind of, from there, as you know, when you're launching a business, you need one deal that kind of really gives you that credibility and that track record. And I think bringing Azimuth has really helped Courtside build that kind of like track record and credibility. And obviously we've gone from there, and as Josh mentioned, we're looking at a lot of other interesting things now, but that's kind of how we started. That was our first deal. A lot of work's gone into it. Azimuth are a big company with a very big marketing team with lots of demands. We've had to, Josh and I, really be involved on a day-to-day basis there to keep them happy. Their goal with this sponsorship was to sell more boats to their clients. And so for them, E1 made a lot of sense because the crowd that go to these races is very, it's a high net worth group of people. They have this VIP hospitality, which is similar to, say, the Paddock Club in Formula One called the Ocean Club, where you have on average maybe 500-600 people at each race. But these are C-suite executives, these are celebrity team owners, these are government officials, royal families. And so for Azimuth, it was a perfect way for them to get their brand out there to, potential new clients.